Everybody. On behalf of the Government of Canada, today I would like to announce an additional approximately $50 million worth of military aid for Ukraine. This will consist of approximately $15 million worth of aid for winter equipment purchases. Hats, gloves, boots, parkas, the items that Ukrainian soldiers need on the front lines will be purchased by the Government of Canada, primarily from Canadian suppliers. Secondly, an additional $15 million for the purchase of cameras for drones. We have already supplied Ukraine with over 50 cameras for drones made by Canadian supplier, and we will continue to supply such cameras for drones. Thirdly, in the area of communications services and satellite services, we will supply Ukraine with another $2 million for satellite services. And in partnership with Telesat, this will enable Ukraine to continue to communicate effectively with European and North American partners. And then finally, we know that Ukraine has been needing and asking for additional artillery, in particular the 155 millimeter artillery, and Canada will supply additional 155 millimeter artillery for Ukraine in its fight against Russia's unjust and illegal invasion of its sovereign territory. Yesterday, I was in Poland to announce that approximately 40 Canadian Armed Forces engineers will be training Ukrainian soldiers in the area of mining, demining and explosives together with their Polish counterparts. En français aussi, aujourd'hui j'annonce que le Canada va fournir l'aide militaire additionnelle à peu près 50 millions de dollars pour les vêtements pour l'hiver, des gants, des manteaux, des pantalons, des bottes. Ça, c'est les choses très importantes pour l'équipement pendant l'hiver. Deuxièmement, les caméras pour les drones. Nous allons fournir les caméras additionnelles pour les drones pour utilisation en Ukraine. Troisièmement, les services de communication par satellite en partenariat avec Telesat. Ça aidera l'Ukraine pour communiquer avec l'Amérique du Nord et les partenaires en Europe. Et finalement, l'artillerie, les munitions, le 155 mm munitions, c'est important pour l'Ukraine à ce moment et le Canada va être là pour l'Ukraine avec cet équipement. Et comme j'ai annoncé hier, les ingénieurs canadiens de Forces armées canadiennes vont aller en Pologne pour entraîner les ingénieurs ukrainiens aussi avec les explosifs, le minage et déminage. Et maintenant, je pourrai répondre à vos questions.
Can you give us a timetable about how long it will take to until those supplies will arrive in Ukraine?
In the coming weeks. In particular, we know that winter is coming. Canada has a particular expertise in winter clothing and combat in this area, and we will be supplying that gear in the coming weeks. Approximately 500 pieces of winter clothing and equipment will be traveling to Ukraine aussitôt que possible.
Minister, but these don't respond to the Canadian government's major asks, for example, when it comes to armoured vehicles. So is this really enough? Are you really responding to what they've asked for?
Actually, I announced in June that Canada will be sending 39 brand new armoured vehicles to Ukraine made by GDLS, a Canadian supplier. The reason why we are sending those armoured vehicles to Ukraine is because Ukraine directly asked us for those armoured vehicles, knowing we have the capability to send them to Ukraine. Furthermore, Ukraine has specifically asked for winter clothing, and that is why we are responding alone with 500,000 pieces of winter clothing, and in particular hats, gloves, boots, and pants and parkas. Those are the items that we know will be useful for Ukrainian soldiers on the front line. Thank you.
What should be a NATO response on the nuclear threat?
We will be discussing the nuclear threat tomorrow when the defense ministers meet, of course. But we have to remember that we need to continue to supply Ukraine with many types of equipment and military aid as it seeks to retain its sovereignty and its stability. And that's exactly what Canada has been there to do, with already committing approximately $600 million worth of aid. We are also training training Ukrainian soldiers with up to 225 Canadian Armed Forces in England, training engineers in Poland. We've trained over 33,000 Ukrainian soldiers since 2015 under Operation Unifier. So our approach is a three-pronged approach. We are assisting with military equipment, as I've announced today. We are assisting with training, as I've just mentioned, and we are assisting with transportation from our hub in Prestwick, Scotland, where we have 3 CC-170s. We have transported approximately £5 million of military aid from countries all across the Allied network to make sure that military aid gets to Ukraine.
Minister, when it comes to NATO's own defences, when concretely can we expect Canada to have its NATO-led battle group upgraded to brigade level?
I just met with EFP battle group members this morning to discuss our plan in the short, medium, and long term to surge to brigade level. We are making sure that all allies are on board with committing additional resources and personnel as we surge to brigade level. But make no mistake, we have been the leader of the framework nation since 2015 in Latvia, and Canada will continue to be there in support of the defense and deterrence on NATO's eastern flank. Thank you.